So is the universe so complex that we'll never get it or never understand it? Is it something that's out of our grasp? I don't think so. Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about Dolores Cannon's Convoluted Universe theory. When I ran across this, it was very much a standout video on somebody's channel. I forget whose it was. And I was watching her perspective on this Convoluted Universe theory. I'm looking at her theory from the perspective of my own personal experience. You know, when I had my first regression, one of the most profound things that came out of that regression was the words, "It's so simple, we have a hard time comprehending it." To me, in my life, my experience has been we need to strip away. We need to strip away and come back to being in the present moment I am. And when I look at theories like the convoluted, even the word convoluted in there tells you that it is not simple. It's convoluted. It's messy. It's filled with a lot of thought. And every time I see a theory like this, I always lean back into the story of Adam and Eve. They ate from the tree of knowledge. They got kicked out of paradise. They got in their heads and out of their hearts. Because the feeling of I am is the feeling. It's not the thought of it. It's I am. I just am being in the present. I'm being in this moment in the oneness of God. And when I look at these concepts of convoluted universe theory, 5D, all these deep pathways that are going off into New Age directions, I think they're just pathways. And then I go back to another line from one of my regressions. When you seek a path is laid before you, but until you turn the path back to yourself, you never find the doorway. I think they're all just paths. When I think of these convoluted theories, and I think of 5D, and I think of even old age dogma, religions, and I think they're just paths. They're paths of the human mind trying to make sense of God / universe / yada yada, whatever you want to call it. So when I look at this perspective of what is this convoluted universe, it's someone who is probably very, very well intentioned, trying to make sense of our connection with God, our connection to the universe. What's interesting about Dolores Cannon's work is that she's getting it through hypnosis, right? Now, I have talked about Dolores Cannon in a different video where she was a closed study, so she never had any other peer review or anything like that. And so we have no idea whether she was influencing anything. And a very good friend of mine was actually regressed by Dolores Cannon. And he came away feeling like his regression was more about the next book she was writing. I have no experience with Dolores Cannon, so I can't say that's true or false. I can say she was probably very well intentioned, but I think that her method of science, had some flaws in it, in the way it was done. Because without peer review or other scientists verifying things, then you're a closed study, which means that anybody's influence in that study can deliver a different result. Hey guys, I was just editing this video and I wanted to come on air and be very clear. I contacted Dolores Cannon a long time ago, and after I had my regression, and I asked her if she would regress me, and she did refuse, saying that she only regresses people who have never been regressed before, and she is the only one who can regress them. So this is not me saying that I never had a contact with her. This was saying I never had that exchange with her where in a regression session. So I just wanted to make that very clear in this video. When I spoke with her, she seemed very kind, but it was just not something that worked out for me to actually be one of the people she regressed. So when I look at the whole convoluted thing, I of course, like anybody should, am coming from my personal perspective and my personal belief system. When I look at the idea of it's so simple, we have a hard time comprehending it. And when I look at my life, when I've stripped away religion and belief and even New Age beliefs that I carried, when I stripped them away, I began having all of the experiences everybody wants to have, out of bodies, astral travel. All those things happened when I let go of everything, came back to my present moment, and just relaxed into being. And when you come back to that space, you find it's so simple that it's hard to comprehend, because there's the comprehension itself is the pathways of the mind, where you're going down these long pathways trying to make sense of things, but all pathways are always ahead of you. They're not being, they're not in the present. And so when I look at this idea of a convoluted universe, it doesn't ring true to me. And the reason it doesn't ring true to me is because it's not simple, it's convoluted. For me in my life, the simplicity has been the blessing. The simplicity of just being love, being in the present moment and loving, and not trying to figure it out. The other interesting thing is the belief about how. How does this work? The word how means you don't know in the present moment, or you're trying to figure out how to make it happen, right? Which means it's not happening in the now. You're not being. You're actually in the being, looking outside of your time frame. Well, I am is not I will be, or I was. It's I am. It's being very present. It's being in the moment. And so when I look at convoluted universe theory, it's not at all present. It's in not only ahead of you, but it's in multiple time frames at once, right? Now, time itself, we know, is not linear. We know that because everybody who's had a near-death experience will tell you that there's no time, right? It just is. It just is happening. It's in the now. And when you look at the idea of the different time frames and all that stuff, you're looking at something that it's the construct of the mind trying to find a logic behind God. But God is so simple that the human logical mind, which is trying to fit it into the laws of the physical world, which are constructs of the science mind themselves, and we all know that the world is a collection of atoms at play in full energy event. And so when someone puts a thought into that thought becomes reality. And Buddha said, what you think you become, you create your world. As a man thinketh, so is he, is what Joshua said. And so it comes back to your thoughts are creative. So science itself is a dogma. Putting a theory into the world is putting your belief into the world, and your belief will be shown to you, because when you seek a path is shown to you. A path is laid before you. You believe something's happening, you get the results of that happening. So it really comes down to this idea of she had a belief. Now, whether she influenced the person who was under hypnosis or not, I don't know, right? I have no clue. I wasn't there in the room. But the simplicity that I have been living, and it's really interesting because I'm paring away everything in my home right now. I'm even getting more simplified because I want everything as simple as possible. I was just talking to my mailman about how I can stop having mail delivered to my house, because now it's just all automated online. So why do I need mail? I want to simplify every aspect of my life, because the simpler I make it, the better my life is. The simpler I make the world, the more I can be in the present and be in this I am moment, experiencing my passions, experiencing the paradise. The Buddha said, when you realize how perfect everything is, you'll tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. Convoluted's not perfect. When you realize how perfect everything is, you'll tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. Why do you laugh? Because it feels good. That simplicity of the perfection of simplicity. It feels good. So when I look at theories like the convoluted universe theory, to me personally, it doesn't ring true. But as we all know, spirituality is a personal journey. If you feel like you need to walk that path, more power to you. I respect your belief. It's not my belief, and the results of my beliefs have been very good. I'm surrounded by people I love who love me in return, living a beautiful life, and I'm so happy in the way my world is expressed around me, because I believe it is, and I put that out there. My life is not convoluted. My life is so simple. I am love, and that's my goal, is to just be loving. And I'm sure many people will take this video as an attack on Dolores Cannon. It's not an attack on Dolores Cannon. It's me speaking my truth about my reality. And I've noticed, because of the tremendous response I've gotten online, that a lot of people resonate with my belief. Now, I'm not trying to sway you to it. If it doesn't fit you, it's not for you. And if it does fit you, then try it out. Later on, it might not fit you. But it's a matter of you going with what feels right. And to me, convoluted will never feel right. And that's my thought on the Dolores Cannon convoluted universe theory. I think it's a journey in the mind of someone trying to make sense of God. And that's my thought on it. And it's not to say anything bad about Dolores Cannon. This is not a Dolores Cannon bashing video. This is I don't believe her theory video. And that's got to be okay. Because some people will take this as I'm bashing Dolores Cannon, when in reality, Dolores Cannon is not infallible, as neither is Eckhart Tolle or Deepak Chopra or Wayne Dyer or Jeshua or Buddha or Krishna or Muhammad, Baha'u'llah. No one's infallible. And it's the reality of it. You must find your own pathway to love, your own pathway to that source. For me, it comes in the simplicity of paring away all the pathways of the mind. And that's been a beautiful thing in my life. So you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.